Alright, we have to talk about everything going on with Bluprint. Welcome to the Sewing Report. I'm Jen. This channel is all about sewing crafts and DIY projects. As of shooting this video, Bluprint, formerly known as Craftsy, has announced that it is closing. So I'm going to break it all down for you, everything we know right now, and what that means for the future, and also just the business and the industry in the sewing, quilting, and crafting community. Where do we go from here? Now, I personally follow quite a few people within the sewing and quilting community on Facebook, and I noticed a few people that were Craftsy, now Bluprint instructors, post announcements on their pages about getting notice that Bluprint would be closing down. Some people are surprised by this, others are not. I wasn't really sure. I don't work at Bluprint. I've never been an instructor, so I don't really have like the inside track. My perspective here is of someone who's been a longtime customer of formerly Craftsy, now Bluprint. I'm also a Bluprint affiliate, so I get some email notifications on that side, but I'm certainly not like any sort of insider. So when I saw this announcement, I was curious to see what was going on. Craftsy, I did not realize this, the company is a decade old. I probably became a customer around 2013, 2014 and started buying some of their permanent classes or the forever classes, but it's been around for a while and I thought it was a really great resource for online education, especially for people who might be homebound, millennials like me who are too lazy to go anywhere and just want convenience. And I really enjoy joining Craftsy, and I did actually find the transition to Bluprint, while yes, there were some big differences, I still found the value in it and I enjoyed being a customer. And for as long as Bluprint continued to exist, I would be willing to pay a certain amount per year or per month to have access to all of the classes. I didn't gravitate towards some of the newer classes. My favorites were like the tried and true older ones, but that was good enough for me, and the library at Bluprint was so large, I could never get through all of the classes anyways. I have paid for probably dozens of classes. I've maybe gotten through maybe 10 to 12. Like, there's still quite a few classes that I haven't even gone through yet, and I was looking forward to doing that. I did notice that since the transition from Craftsy to Bluprint, the Bluprint annual subscription kept getting lower and lower in price, which I can see there being reasons for this. The classes are getting older, so maybe they're not as up to date. Competition between streaming services is vast. There's so much to choose from. When you think about it, Bluprint isn't even competing against just other crafting portals like Creative Bug, but they're competing against Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, everything else going on, because that's all competing for your time. You only have so many hours in a day to watch and consume content, and would you rather watch a Bluprint class or would you rather watch, a show on Amazon Prime? And besides just the paid platforms, but Bluprint was also competing against all of the free content here on YouTube. You don't have to pay anything and you can literally find a video telling you how to do just about anything in the universe. So, I mean, there was a lot of competition and there's just a lot of factors that I believe obviously went into the decision to close, and it is a pretty complicated matter. After seeing a few Bluprint instructors post this news, I went over to the Bluprint Facebook page to see if they had posted anything. At the time, they had not, but they were just getting lit up in the comments of their other posts. People were disappointed, they were angry, some of them were pretty mad and upset, which is understandable, especially because I think one thing about Bluprint, formerly Craftsy, is that they always build these forever classes. Like, that was the thing to do before the unlimited access came out. So even when that happened, I remember people were if you paid thousands of dollars worth of classes and now for $10 a month you can access all of them, that might leave a little bit of a sour taste in your mouth, because for a much lower price overall, someone could get access to all of the classes you have and more. The comment section after this news started getting around, it was pretty interesting, let me just say that. And I even saw one lady who said she was a lawyer. She said she was thinking about doing some sort of litigation or class action lawsuit if customers couldn't get access to their forever classes. So I wanted to do a little bit of research before talking about this on camera. So I went to the Bluprint website. Now, I don't know if the former Craftsy website had anything like this, but I wanted to look at their fine print, the terms of service, to see if there was anything on the website that would say hey, in case we go out of business, for instances like this, do you still get access to these classes, or can they change the terms at any time? I figured for legalese purposes there would be something like that, because you kind of always know that sometimes if something's too good to be true, it might be too good to be true. To my surprise, when I checked, I could not find any sort of verbiage along those lines. I did find some stuff that they could revoke access to the content if they find out you're using it fraudulently. I was just shocked because I figured for a corporate entity like Bluprint, which is owned by NBC Universal, I figured they had to have something like that in there, but I could not find anything. If you can, let me know. I am only one person and I'm not a lawyer, but I did look through all of the terms of service to find something like that, and I could not personally. On the frequently asked questions page, there is something that says, what does it mean to have an own forever class? And the response is, Bluprint offers online classes taught by world-renowned instructors who love their passion as much as you do. While we offer the ability to subscribe for a monthly or yearly fee, we also offer the option to own the class forever. You will find these own forever classes in the Bluprint shop. In this section, I was fully expecting there to be like a little asterisk next to it with fine print down at the bottom saying like as long as we're in business or, you know, something like that, but no, nothing. A few days after the news initially broke, Bluprint finally posted a letter from the CEO on the website announcing the closure and also saying, after I'm sure they've probably gotten spammed by a ton of people asking about the Forever Class access, saying that they are going to be looking for a way for those owners of the Forever Classes to be able to get access to that content, whether maybe it's a one-time download, far-fetched case, but they send you some DVDs in the mail, or maybe there's some place online where you can put in a passcode or something and you can continue to stream the classes. We don't really know what that's going to be like, and I'm curious to see how they handle this situation. Some people might have hundreds of classes, some people might have 2, so what do they do? The other thing I was thinking is, as far as like storage capacity, if they offer a download for the classes, that's going to take up a lot of space on your computer hard drive. I know from making videos myself, you need a lot of bandwidth on your computer memory. You need a very large, I have like 4 hard drives on my computer, and I'm gonna continue to buy more because I just cannot have enough storage. These files, video files in particular, are very large, you know, especially depending on the quality. Like 4K files are huge, 1080 just regular HD, still large, but 4K massive. So really it depends on the quality of the video, how large the file sizes are. You know, what are they going to do with this? It's anyone's guess at this point. I did see some news coverage on the closure from the Denver Post. The Denver Post is reporting that 137 people at Bluprint will be laid off. And during this time especially, it really sucks to lose your job. I mean, right now jobs are hard to come by as it is, so I feel terrible for all of those employees and their families. Also in the article, Bluprint has reported to the Colorado Department of Labor and Employment that the layoffs will begin towards the end of July, and they're expected to close the offices in August. So that's, I guess, when we can expect to, I guess, not have any access to Bluprint anymore. And you know, guys, I'm pretty sad and disappointed. I really still enjoyed my Bluprint classes, and I would continue to pay the annual fee for as long as they were around. I guess I'm a little confused on a few things. I'm just wondering, and I don't know the back end and what's going on, but maybe there was a way, and I did see some talk about this in some online discussions, that Bluprint could have sold off that, like NBC Universal could have sold off the Bluprint branch to someone else, given them the license to air the content. I've also seen some instructors saying that they really want the intellectual property of the classes they taught, so that's going to be interesting to see how that unfolds. And I'm just kind of wondering from my perspective, I know it's fairly expensive to operate and host videos, like it takes server space, it takes manpower, but I'm wondering, why didn't they just stop making and producing new content, kept the library they have, and continue to offer that as a subscription service to customers like me, who I wasn't really there for the new content, I was there for the existing content. If they dropped the price to say like $20 to $30 a year, I would have gladly continued to pay that, and they could continue getting new customers that would be willing to pay $20 to $30 a year to access the library. I think they could have found those customers. At first, I think the subscription was like $120 a year. year. Last year, they dropped it down to like 80 bucks. I was last billed like $65 for this upcoming year, and I was just billed in March, so I even thought that was pretty reasonable. I still used the Bluprint shop to buy supplies. You know, they could have kept it and kind of maybe broke even with that part. I don't know. There's obviously a lot I don't know. I'm just speculating, but if I was an executive in charge of something, it would have made sense to me to see if you could salvage what you have. They already have tons and tons of content, and they could have continued to use that and sold it maybe not for as high of a price. Also, Bluprint has social media accounts with a lot of followers. Their Facebook page has a lot of fans. Their YouTube channel has a lot of subscribers. If their channel is monetized, which I'm guessing it probably is, they make some money off of the ads and people watching all the videos they posted on the YouTube channel. They could continue to generate enough revenue, in my opinion, to just kind of keep the bare bones level of operation to allow customers like me and you to continue to access the classes online. I mean, what if you don't want a DVD? What if you want to continue to log in online and watch it and you don't have a computer with a lot of hard drive space? Then you as a customer are kind of put in a tough spot, because then you have to house and store all the content. And if you have hundreds of classes or something, that's going to be a lot. The reason I don't like DVDs sometimes is because if something happens to that physical copy, then you don't have it anymore. So there's a lot going on with this whole situation, and I'm curious to know what some other opinions are. Everybody though, be kind in the comments. I know sometimes it can get a little rough, but this is just my opinion and I'm just one person. And I also want to know too, what does this mean overall for the sewing and crafting and quilting community? Because this was a fairly large company and they couldn't make it. You're seeing a lot of quilt shops and local businesses really struggle with everything going on with the pandemic, and I just, moving forward, what's going to be left? I'll certainly be paying attention to what's happening with Bluprint, and I may do another update video if something significant happens, and if I do, it will also be linked in the description box, so pay attention to that. And because I am a Bluprint affiliate, I've tried to remove as many links to subscribe to Bluprint as I can here on the channel. My website was a little bit harder, but just know as of this point, Bluprint is not going to exist, so don't sign up for a membership. Obviously, that's going to be a bit of a moot point in a few months, and you will not have it anymore. I'm also going to be removing some of the videos here on the channel that was like a Craftsy or Bluprint review, just because obviously if it's not going to exist, there's really no point in those videos, or for trying to encourage people to sign up, since it's not going to be around for very much longer. But, you know, I mean, this is a really tough blow to the sewing and crafting community here. I used my Bluprint subscription a lot. I loved it. That was one of my go-to online learning platforms for new sewing techniques, new quilting techniques. I watched a bunch of the baking videos. I think that was one of the good things about the annual subscription, is that I got to watch classes that I might not have paid for a la carte, but if they were included, I would certainly check them out. I watched some drawing and painting and watercolor classes a little bit, and I still really thought it was a good thing. I know some of the instructors were not so happy with Bluprint, formerly Craftsy. I can't talk to that experience because I was not an instructor. You know, I thought it had a lot of good things going on for it still, and especially a lot of the older content I felt was really valuable to me. RIP Bluprint/Craftsy. I will certainly miss having you around, so stay tuned for updates, and if there are any, I will bring them to you here on the Sewing Report. I'm Jen. I'll see you guys again in the next video.